The problem is I just had too many things open. You know, and you can't find the right tab.
Yeah.
Too many
So now that you've had
sausages.
times to do that and you still don't have the video up and going.
Because it is still
how
not
long?
optimizing for video for some reason. Oh,
Mhm.
who cares? It's audio podcast anyway.
Yeah.
Welcome to Everyone Racers.
A show designed for the world of low-dollar racing and oddball car culture.
It doesn't matter what kind of limit champ or lucky track dog league you run.
SCCA or NASA, we won't discriminate.
As long as you drive it hard and built it yourself.
Join us each week for tech discussions, tips,
Tricks, as well as news and notes from the world of amateur endurance racing.
And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough, and Chrissy,
And Chrissy.
and I give you just the
Oh,
Really?
okay. Yeah, great.
Hey, we're sure
is
you're
it?
going to
Just
giggle
a
a
what?
little and laugh even less.
Welcome to
Everyone
the paddock.
report to the paddock. This is Chris.
This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
Oh,
And I am not mental. My name is Tim.
And we are Everyone Racers. Welcome to a Djibouti episode. This is episode 253. And 253 is the country code to call Djibouti. So
good.
if you're not making long distance calls from someone else's phone, get out your Bingo card. See what you find.
Do they do that in Djibouti?
I was going to ask if they do that everywhere else. Is there places you call that are long distance phone calls?
I think international still
Oh,
is,
maybe so.
counts like that. And isn't that what you do when you're at someone else's house? You don't like start making international long distance calls.
No. Do you?
That's what I do.
In 1987, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
there
terrible.
you go, Jeff. See, it's an
Who
old
even-
joke.
Who even has a phone on the wall anymore? I mean,
It's true. And it go
Your-
only if it
your
goes
parents. Yeah. Yep.
Oh boy.
Oh
All
boy.
right.
What you working on,
Uh,
Chris?
The Mazda need to get it ready for grid life this weekend. So, and we hadn't pulled out of the trailer since New Jersey at all. So finally did so, checking stuff because who knows what we're going to break. And we knew we had a couple of things broken. Fixed the motor mount that fell off at Jersey that stripped off. So I was able to get a helicoil for that, which I bought a new old stock one on eBay. It was way less expensive, but still expensive. Like a M14 2.0 helicoil was like $80 new. So this was a lot less, but it's fixed. Nice. Fixed the intake that broke after the engine fell off. Fixed the mass airflow sensor, which was throwing a code, and that's what was making the car run weird. But Jeff, remember how it was kind of intermittent the way it would do that? Well, you know why? It's because it wasn't the mass airflow sensor that was the problem. It was the wires leading to the plug for the mass airflow sensor. One of them broke off. So it was gradually
Just like
working
the
its way
Civic
off.
did in Road Atlanta
Exactly.
150 years ago. This
So
one wasn't my fault.
No, but to fix this one, it was the fault of the motor falling out of the car, stressing that whole connector. So the way to fix it was I happened to have a junkyard 10 minutes down the street. So one day at lunch, when I was working at home, hop in the Corvette, run over to the junkyard, clip off a wiring connector, pay them a couple bucks, come back home, have lunch, all within a lunch hour. It was great. While also at the junkyard, I got something pretty cool that I've been looking for a while. The first generation Honda CRVs, the cover over the well where the spare tire would be, but it's not where spare tire in this one because it's on the trunk, but that well that's there was a very sturdy folding table. So I found one that was fresh into the yard, had the table. So for a grand total of $15, I got 2 wiring harness plugs and a CRV table. These things go for like $100 on eBay. And it's just a nice, perfect size for a couple people. And it's small and portable and easy and actually fits perfectly in the back of the Corvette.
So this is not something that you bought to sell. This is something
And
you
I bought this
use.
for use. And if I decide I don't really care to use it anymore, well, then we can sell it. So
It's like, whoa, look what I got.
I got this table.
It's a tiny table.
That's like that. How do you even know it's there? You know it's not going to be there, but you look anyway and go, "Whoa, it's
No.
there!"
Exactly, because it was a fresh into the yard car,
Yeah.
so that was good. Let's see, Mazda, more stuff with the Mazda. I went test drive it, cleaned it, pressure washed everywhere to get the grease that was everywhere off of it. And tonight I was setting up the weight distribution hitch on the Cadillac, and I think we should do a whole episode about setting up your trailer properly. because I think there's
Ooh, I
plenty to
love
talk
that.
about there. Because I just spent an hour just getting the weight distribution hitch set up. That's after doing measurements. And now that I've got it set so that the weight is distributed on all four wheels, the trailer is level front to back. And this is even before taking the air suspension into account, because that can screw things up. So I'm happy with where it is now. It's good, but I think we could have a whole main topic on proper trailer setup with and without weight distribution hitches.
I love that because
I do too.
I set everything up back in the day, and trailer change didn't change anything. Truck change did. Like, I have a list of trailer things to fix for setup that it's exactly this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we'll
love
do
that.
that another time.
Okay.
Cool.
Did
Jeff,
you do some Corvette work?
No, the Corvette's pretty much done. Like I did all that before
we just
the
moved
last
it
show.
out. Okay.
Yeah. And I drove it to work. It was fine. I drove to the junkyard. It's fine.
He didn't break down. Didn't run out of gas.
It's going in next week to get the air conditioning, the whole new AC system charged up. And then I can drive it more. Still needs an alignment. I got to do that soon.
Drive the Corvette. Yay.
It's funny.
There are some repeats that we're going to do when we get to what I'm working on.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Chrissy, what have you been working on?
Oh, okay, great. I was helping to prep the Mazda, took all the vinyl off and swap wheels and just general help with the Mazda. Working a ton, which is what I do these days. And then we had a relaxing weekend at the beach, which was nice. Just Chris and I went down to the Wildwood house that we share with other families, and nobody else was there. It was just us. So it was great. We had a really nice time. So Jeff, you have a crap ton of stuff going on here. What do you got going on?
I do, and sometimes I'm going to say I also. So I also worked on my tow pig. I had a day of Tow Pig Love Fest. This is my 2011 Nissan Titan, and I had basically been using it as off-site storage and just Boy Scout transportation device, and it has just gotten really disgusting, and the lid stopped working, and just everything was like getting a little janky. And of course, next week I have to go to Boy Scout summer camp and tow the troop trailer and all those other things. So I had to fix all those little things that were wrong with it and give it a good bath and clean it out, including clean out from the bed the incredibly nice piece of garage furniture, I guess, or storage that I got from one of the many old men who were moving out of their garage. So I got this 20 drawer, like over 4 feet tall, over 2 feet deep, like file cabinet drawer system that was absolutely filled to the brim with a lifetime's collection of very weird hardware. And the guy I took it from was a Xerox repairman. So I had like 37 little tubes of lube that said Xerox on it, and glues that were like Xerox 128, and then like twine, an entire bucket, and nails. More nails than you could ever possibly imagine. But they were all so perfectly organized in like little baby food jars and little things. And I'm like, well, I have to keep it all right. It's organized. So I had to go through every drawer. I had to get it all out of my truck and get it all. I had to clear a spot in my garage. I had to like build a pedestal for it so I could put stuff under it and find a new place for my air compressor.
Did you use the hardware in the thing to build the pedestal?
I did, actually.
Okay,
Because
good.
again, screws. So many wood screws. There was just crazy how many wood screws. So anyways, yeah, so I did that. That was pretty fantastic. And I really like completed the garage cleaning. So now I can really start to work on earnest on the race car, hopefully. So anyway, I will also say that we went to an Eagle Scout project, and I gave myself blisters on my palm because I have a desk job and it's just crazy. And here comes the story time. I also had to drive the Corvette to work all week because on Thursday, the day after we recorded the podcast, while I was on my way to work in Mexico, I happened to be passed by a Lamborghini Gallardo with a top down by a guy who's obviously a douchebag because he's driving a Lamborghini Gallardo. So I decided that I was going to follow him at a high rate of speed, and the Veloster stopped working at 110-ish. Just
What?
RPMs went right down to idle while I was driving in the left lane at moderate tilt. Yep. Did a downshift to catch up to that sucker, and the car just went, nope. Here's some check engine lights. Eat that, sucker.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I coasted to the side of the road and said, this is going to be a AAA occasion.
Doesn't
turn-
Hyundai have roadside assistance?
Yeah, but I'd rather use mine because it'll get there faster.
All right.
So anyway, because they'll want to tow it to the closest dealership.
It's
Oh.
under warranty.
Well,
Let them.
no, I want it to the dealership near my house.
Okay.
So anyway, I turn it. Oh, and the check engine lights, same codes I was getting before, electronic throttle, and beware differential issues. Do not drive. So I was like, oh, that's bad.
Oh.
So I turned it off and I turned it on. The code stayed this time, but the differential light went away. Drove to work on limp mode, drove home on limp mode. It did it one more time at a stoplight on the way home, and I drove it right to the dealership at my house. They have now had it for 6 days,
Oh
and they called me
my.
this morning and they said, we replaced your throttle body on warranty. Come get it. It's free.
Okay. Is that it?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. More
Okay.
to come.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that was what was happening. And Saturday morning, Jen looked on the internet and said, hey, you know the Hyundai dealer where they have your car? Says here they have 7 Ionic 5s on the lot. I also, like Chris and his table for the RAV4 said, or whatever it was, said, no, they can't possibly have that. We went to the dealership and they had 5. They had sold that this morning. So we finally got to drive the Ionic 5, and it is probably going to be the wife's next car.
Cool.
Interesting fun fact. The dealership by my house has a test track.
Yeah, I've seen that. It's this little
It's like a
thing.
little
Yeah.
oval, little circle. Anyway.
Okay.
Well, you've already heard a different voice with us. It is not mental, but it's not. Sorry,
Do you-
I lost my.
Do you hear
track.
my dog whining?
That's what I
to get
heard. I
in
was
the
like,
house?
Zoe
I was
wants
gonna
to be on
try
the
and comment.
show.
I was
Come on,
like,
Zoe.
is it a
Come on.
bird in the background? What's going on there?
No, it's
Well,
Zoe. She's
Zoe's
great.
the best.
There we go. Well, Mental is on secret assignment somewhere in the desert in America. When he was in the military, he got to go to like fun places. Now he's just like in Nevada or something. But filling in this week, the one and only Tim Burr of Sorry for Party Racing California version, which is always good. Current caretaker of the Solstice. Yes, that town bicycle, which lived in my house for a little while, lived at Chris's house for a little while. We drove the Yukon right up the front fender. It was great. El Camino enthusiast. He's got an El Camino shirt on. I don't know.
2 El Caminos, sadly.
Oh, 2. Are you a Mainer? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, so I'm originally an East Coaster. Actually, it was in Jersey up until 2005. And then my wife and I moved out to California for her job. And we'd be there for a year or 2, and we're still there. My dog's freaked out because my neighbors are shooting fireworks over here. So
Oh,
she's
that's-
like,
sorry.
ah,
Don't
So go
don't
lay down,
shoot
baby.
that.
go lay down. Come here. So
Well, other than making
now
sure
we're
your
in-
dog doesn't pee on the floor, what you working
yeah,
on?
so now we're in Maine, and we do summers here. We bought Amy's grandma's house right before she passed, and in January we bought another place. It's right about there on the lake, and that is my summer job. So I got here in June and I ripped it down to the studs. I had Jeremy from Monkey House, who owns the Ombre. Him and his 2 brothers came out, and we jacked the corners of the house up. It looked like a saggy taco for a while. It was 4 inches low on both corners. So we jacked the house up, put all new supports underneath it. And now I am redoing the interior. So all new electrical, all new plumbing, all new sheetrock, brand new kitchen, new walls, siding, all new windows, all the things. So that's what I'm working on, and I'll be working on that for a little while longer.
Wow. So are you a tradesman by trade, or is this just all working outside your job description?
I am a golf professional by trade.
Oh.
So I've been in the golf business since '96. Was in the management side of things up until the end of 2000, where COVID just sent me right off the end, where people were just acting unhumanly, and I was like, you know what, you guys can just enjoy each other. I'm gonna go do something else. So now I teach golf part-time. I also teach for a company called Hooked on Driving, HPDE stuff.
Yeah. We know Hooked on Driving very well.
There is I'm the president of a foundation in California called PJ Hope, and we provide free golf instruction to veterans. And initially we thought it was going to be something where it would be vets that were coming back with physical injuries, and what we found out is 90% of the people that we help have PTSD issues, and just giving them a reason to get out of the house and reconnect with other veterans and talk things out has been huge. And we've got 16 different clinics we do in the spring and in the summer and in the fall. And we've had over 1,500 vets go through the program. We're continuing to grow as fast as we can. Actually getting instructors has been a challenge. We've got a lot of people that want to go to the program, but getting people to be able to teach them has been the tough part. So I've been the president of that foundation for 3 years now, and it's really awesome. It's the stories you hear from the vets are so heartwarming, and it just fills you up so much. So that's kind of what I've been up to.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we're glad to have you here, and we are definitely going to talk about car trucks and Caminos, and we might even throw some ombre or solstice discussion in there. So we're definitely going to be talking in the main topic. But now it's the time that Chrissy loves.
It's notes time. I mean, I don't know if I love it, but I like yelling. Portia is venturing into the coolest type of food, ice cream. In honor of the very real National Ice Cream Day, which was a couple of days ago, the team at Porsche collaborated with the Chicago-based Pretty Cool Ice Cream to come up with a special frozen treats. Going for the most obvious route, the folks at Porsche tapped into their paint color names for inspiration for the flavors and incorporated cars from throughout the company's history on the packaging. According to Porsche, the colors and flavors are as follows: mint green, a green mint cookies and cream ice cream with a mint green white chocolate shell. Strawberry red, cream cheese ice cream dipped in a strawberry red shell made with real freeze-dried strawberries. Macadamia metallic, roasted macadamia ice cream in sparkling macadamia metallic colored chocolate shell. Frozen berry metallic, black raspberry ice cream in a sparkling frozen berry colored chocolate shell. Lime gold metallic is a key lime pie ice cream in sparkling lime gold and colored caramel shell. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to live close to Chicago if you wanted to get these and other flavors. If you can't just justify going to Chicago to eat ice cream, Porsche says they will make these frozen treats available at exclusive events later this year.
Totally want the lime gold metallic. That sounds delicious.
I mean, all of them with sparkles sound amazing. So, but you can't have them. But it's a fun idea.
We can have them. We just have to go to Chicago to get them.
Yeah.
I've got to say that one thing that I really, really wanted to do, and I talked about it with my West Coast crew, and it got shot down by John Pagel, is I wanted to race an ice cream truck in Lemons. And Pagel was like, no, you can't, because there's not enough crash structure in the front of the ice cream truck.
Yeah, he's right. That's a bad idea.
He's right, but it would have been a great idea to just drive around with the
That won't get old at all.
No.
You could get a creepy looking van. It's like
Yeah,
a
that's what I
full
was
size
gonna
van
say.
you could rent.
Yeah.
And
The idea is not dead yet. The idea is
Yeah.
not dead.
there's a way.
We've got a couple of things going.
I just want to know about the ice cream truck. Is like, what flavor is that right there?
That one's the lime green metallic.
I don't think, is it? I
Oh,
don't think
Well,
that's
it's close
metallic.
enough.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
No, because it's lime gold metallic. I don't think that's the lime gold. Anyway,
Sorry.
Bradley Brownell, when he was here, he knew what color that was. I don't know. So, all right, we're gonna talk Miatas for a minute because everybody loves Miatas. Chris, when you drove my Miata, you thought it was kind of sketchy, right?
Yeah, I think I called it a collection of parts working loosely together.
That's right.
Holding hands? Oh, that's
Yeah.
Rusta holding
Holding
hands. Never mind.
hands. Yeah. Okay. Have you seen the guy who has replaced his steering wheel with?
The music really helps, so that's good.
Oh, is there music?
Yeah, and it's really annoying.
Okay.
This is
So say what it is, Jeff.
Okay, I'm
because
going
this
to.
is
I'm
just
waiting for
bad
it to finish. So this guy took a 8-inch wheel, 8-inch plastic Wii controller, took off his steering wheel of his NA Miata, and is driving around with an 8-inch plastic wheel that if you've ever touched these things are I think I break it every time I play, and it's not connected to anything, and he has it connected solidly.
It's
to
from a
hub.
Nintendo Wii. You have
Nintendo
neglected to
Wii.
say that.
Oh,
so
he
yeah.
said a
I said a Wii.
did say it,
controller.
but he glossed
Okay.
over it.
Sorry, you don't know what that is. Us parents know what that is.
No, we have.
So yeah, that's a little sketchy and that's a little crazy. It's burning up TikTok, so of course I had to cover it, and I hope the guy's insurance is paid up. Good luck.
Well, he says it's terrible. I'm reading the article right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Article
The car
on
is
drive.
the car
link
is
in the show.
beautiful.
It's a really nice, yeah.
Looks like he's really taking
So-
care of it. Oh, and
Okay.
he put a Wiimote on the
On the shifter.
on
yeah.
the shifter. Yeah, like he went all Wii all the time on there. So
And he has like a Nintendo theme on the
Wee.
entire car. So
oh, he went all the way. So I guess that's just that. Where
Okay.
is he from?
Oh, well.
it's a good
I only
question.
want to know because I want to stay away from him because I'm
Yeah,
scared.
exactly.
It's probably California.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like the smallest wheel that like a human being would ever put on their car is like 13 inches. So this is drastically smaller.
Huh?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Instead of a Wii on your steering wheel, you know what everyone needs? Everyone needs a good pit vehicle. Like we love our Yamaha scooter. Scooty's a champ, but a cool golf cart would be even better if you've got the room, really. Guess where you can buy a cool golf cart? Anyone?
Racingjunk.com.
That's right.
I had no idea.
I found one
What?
advertised as this is the quote. This is a cool golf cart set up for the pits at a drag race. It's equipped with an air compressor, tools, stereo, underglow lights, and so much more. This is an electric golf cart. That's a quote.
It's amazing.
So, I mean, I'll I guess open this up and we'll share a screen. This thing it's pretty cool. I got to say, it's green. It's got slicks on the back. I still have to share my screen to show this, but I'll try to describe it for those who are listening. It's all green upholstery.
Oh,
I think it's like custom green upholstery, right? Like it looks like somebody put that on there.
Made that
Oh, now we don't
Yeah,
see the
it's
picture
got-
anymore. We see your notes. Cool.
Oh, well, damn it. Yeah.
Ever since Mental said we should share more screen, we've been messing this up to him.
There we go.
There you go.
So yeah, so it's all green, custom green upholstery. It's got like a little drag chute parachute in the back,
Is
but
that
it's a
drag
four-seater.
chute?
Yeah, it's got slicks. There's the air compressor,
The
reel.
airline.
There's a stereo up there. I mean, it's all diamond plate.
Oh, it's
Green
and-
and
beautiful.
diamond plate accents.
Yeah.
Blingy wheels. Man,
I mean,
sign
this
me
thing.
up.
It's got a flame job on the front. Like this thing
I
is
love
actually
that
pretty
thing.
cool.
I do
I
too.
love that thing.
It's really nice. Nicely
Also,
done.
Look at the hauler behind it. This guy's
Yeah.
got some bucks.
He's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I don't need it anymore. Georgia. Anybody? Georgia. We need
It's-
dishwashing fairies.
It was
down there.
Georgia. All right. Well, it's $3,900. It's
I
excellent.
mean, like,
Someone
I
should-
feel like that's
Someone
pretty
should totally
good.
buy that.
Totally
Yeah.
buy that or make it yourself. I don't know.
Oh, I don't.
That would be
I-
a lot. That'd be a lot of work to make like one that was close to that. That's pretty
You're right.
good.
And a lot more than $3,600.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, I think
Yeah, the
it's
That guy's
batteries are any
definitely
good, then it's good.
totally. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. That was pretty awesome.
Yep.
We have no upcoming races because there's none. There are none. Not even
That's right.
ones that we would not cover or cover. But recent results. We did have some because Lemons held their Pacific Northwest GP at Oregon Raceway Park this weekend. Race winner was Perplexed US. I guess it was Perplex Us, racing in an Lexus IS 300. A few laps back was Calfart Racing, and third was Pesto SWAT team in a Mini Cooper, which also won B class. So they were third, but we're also in B. Class C winner was Loose Nuts Racing in a Chevy Camaro in 8th place.
I got to give a shout out to the Loose Nuts guys. We hung out with them at Thunderhill. They were hysterical, absolutely hysterical. They won Halloween Meets Gasoline. They bring it, and they were super cool to hang out with. And I've been chatting with them afterwards. So big hats off to those guys. And as I likely said, welcome to B class, boys.
How terrible is a Camaro to get into C class?
Oh, horrible. It's a Gen 4, and it's got the V6. It's just garbage. And it blew up, I think, 3 times at Thunderhill. It was a fresh build. They had a big cow catcher on the front of it. They had to take it off. They had lights and all the things. I'm sure you'll see a little bit about it in the next wrap up video, but it's a horrible car. I mean, it's a horrible car. I've owned one. They're bad. I owned one, and then I got one for free. Got a 94 with an LT1 in it, and I gave it away to somebody else. And I was like, just take this. And if you ever turn into a Lemons car, call me and I'll drive it once. And otherwise, just get it away from me. It's a horrible car.
Imagine this. I'm sure it's not going to surprise you, but in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, anything near New Jersey, anywhere, we tend to get a lot of Camaros, a lot of Firebirds.
Mhm.
They're all terrible.
Yeah.
So
The Gen 4 is specifically bad because they took the engine and they tugged it all the way underneath the firewall. So like, here is the windshield, and the back of the motor is like here.
especially
so
if
like
it's a
trying to get to
V6.
any of the things. Yeah,
yeah,
just
because
horrible.
then there's no
Terrible
reason to put it back that far. They could have put it in the front, and they just didn't bother.
Because they wanted a
Motor has to-
windshield that was.
Motor has to come out of the bottom. And I've seen, if you have a chance, YouTube some people DIYing how to get it out of the bottom without a lift, and it's hysterical. Like jacking the car up and with like big blocks and things, and then unbolting everything, and then using the wheels to roll the entire motor and the K member and everything out from under the front of the car. It's just hysterical. So sketchy.
I can't imagine
So
that
sketchy.
thing is that slow. It's just that terrible, right?
It's that
I mean,
terrible.
When they had the V6s, because the Gen 4 Camaro, the V6s were pretty stout,
Well,
right?
there are 2 different ones. The 3.4s were the old, crappy, awful, like terrible motors. The 3.8s later, everyone knows the 3.8. Those are fine, but the 3.4s are junk.
I didn't
the
know they
early
ever
ones
put the
are bad.
3.4s in them. Yeah, I thought they were all 3800s. Well, that's fantastic. What else we got?
Tim, you want to finish up those results there?
Me? I would love to.
He's like,
That'd be great.
Let me pull it back up.
Oh, that's okay. No, I can.
Because my phone shut off.
I got it. Winner of the IOE winner is the Citroen Commando Porsche 911. Organizer's choice was the Inger from Ranger Road Motors, and the Yokohama Tire Road Mangler Cup was the Hand Tight Racing in a Mazda Miata. There are other winners. Lemons didn't post them, so sorry. Shout out to the other winners. Sorry we didn't have more information on.
In other race results, if you haven't checked out the Santiago's Facebook, he won his class and came second overall in 2-wheel drive in the winter rally that he was in.
It's New England Forest Rally was this past weekend.
Was it New England Forest?
Yeah.
I thought he said it was the summer. Or
And
something.
that is a hard.
That's a big rally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well done, Santiago. That's fantastic.
All right.
Cool.
Well, let's listener feedback time. On the YouTube, several people commented that they want the whole show on the YouTube rather than in pieces. Al Josen added, I like that you started uploading full episodes to YouTube again. I don't use Spotify or Apple for streaming, so this is much more convenient to listen to while I work. Plus, I enjoy the visuals that YouTube stream offers. How else would we know what Mental's terrible stolen moon trailer looks like? Moon trailer? I'm not sure what he means by moon trailer.
I think it's a good, accurate. It's good.
It's definitely terrible and stolen
Definitely
and
terrible
short.
and
Yeah.
stolen.
Yeah.
Anyway, noted. Thanks for the feedback. We will. Okay, this one will be loaded up on YouTube.
Randy B said, "Don't let your theme actually annoy people." In quotes that's from the show, and he said, "But I remember when Mental had us carjack Black Flag drivers in our rapper outfits 3 weeks ago." He also added, "A legal, legitimate Nigerian businessman owes 3 p.m. a debt of gratitude. You set the bar high and keep pushing from there. So we knew we had to come into this crazy world swinging."
Oh,
Thanks.
it's so
Oh.
true.
And from last week, shout out to Tom Pyrek. I'm sorry I couldn't remember your name when we were talking about the
Evergreen.
minivan. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Tom.
Come on.
Great.
You know who
always-
else I need to apologize to?
Why? Where are you going with this?
I don't know. Chrissy's
Okay.
mom. I'm sorry I forgot to shout. No, we never forget to shout out Chrissy's mom.
So you know who else drives a minivan?
Oh, there you go.
And whose name we always remember?
That's all the above.
Yep.
Hi,
Hi,
Mom.
Chrissy's
Chrissy's
mom
mom.
and family and everybody else on YouTube.
All right.
Hi.
There it is.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
I wonder if somebody at their desk just waved back to me. Like, oh, hi, Jeff.
No, they're waiting to Chrissy's mom too.
It's true.
Realistically.
Oh, there you go.
Tim, you looking forward to have some Chrissy's mom's cookies at Thompson?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
There will be
Coming to
plenty of
Thompson?
them.
Excellent.
Yep. I will be at Thompson. Looking
all
forward
great.
to it.
Well, before you say anything more, let me introduce main topic time.
All right, I'll take this one because I came up with this. So I knew we were going to have Tim as a guest host filling in for Mental. And I'm thinking, all right, what's something that I know Tim is really good at and have a lot to say about? And I'm thinking, all right, we've hung out with Tim plenty. We've been at Race with the Tim. You know, we always have a great time, no matter what. So there's our show. How do you make sure you're always having a fun race, even when it's not, even when things are terrible? How do you keep it fun? And it's totally something you can do if you go into it the right way. So
This is
do
great
you think, Jeff?
because I knew what we were doing, but as I was thinking about it, Tim, do you know you are the second Sorry for Party Racing person to be on the show?
Matt,
to co-host, I should say.
Pantless Matt was on the
Pantless
show.
Matt was on the show, right? And what was his main theme? Don't be a douche.
Yeah, be a dude. Yeah.
So,
totally.
you know, you need to have some sort of high level, like whatever we say in the next 20, 30 minutes, you need to reduce it down to one sentence that was probably said by Spicoli.
All right.
All right. So that's your
So-
thing.
Like 40% cold, 80% party.
There you
Great.
go.
Seems like-
Man, the only race you ever came East Coasted, and I couldn't go, and I miss the line
Like
of the
epic
century.
line of the century. You're absolutely right.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, and
Oh.
I couldn't
Hey.
get out there for Matt's birthday party, so I feel bad.
Well,
like
we've got Thompson coming up, and
Yeah.
usually people stay up late at Thompson and there's shenanigans. So we'll see.
Mhm. So
Okay.
I think we already introduced us, but we know who you are in real life, but give us your Levins resume. How did you get involved in racing, and what are some of your high water marks? Introduce yourself to the crowd.
Sure, absolutely. So I've been a car geek my whole life, but never really had the means to get into racing until later in life. Actually went to college to be an automotive designer. And then I got the golf bug and went total different direction and became a golf pro. But always loved cars, always loved going fast and doing dumb things. And so the way I got into Lemons is kind of funny. So I saw a YouTube video about it. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I need to figure out how to do this. These guys look like they're having a hell of a lot of fun. So I took a a group of members, as I did in the golf world. I would travel with the members, and I brought 100 people to Mexico, to Cancun, to go play golf. And I'm sitting around the dinner table one night and chatting with a couple of members. This guy,
Completely
Wayne
sober,
Evans,
I'm sure.
completely sober. Yeah, as I normally am.
Oh.
And I'm talking to Wayne about this thing that I saw, and I'm like, I want to do this thing called 24 Hours of Lemons. And he goes, oh yeah. He goes, I know all about it. I was like, you've heard of it? And he goes, oh no, I've been racing in it for a couple of years now. And I'm like, what? So he's like, all right, I've got a guy, this guy Fish Newman. He's a West Coaster. It's where I met you guys, ironically.
Yep.
And he's like, he does arrive and drives, and he goes, I'll have to dust off my race gear, and we're gonna go out and run the fish. But you need to go out and do a track day and learn how to drive on a racetrack. So I went with HOD and did a track day with Hooked on Driving, gal April. I talked to this guy, David Ray. He's awesome. He's the president of that region. And he hooked me up with this gal, April, who's a Lemons racer. And she was my coach for the day, and was like, all right, here's what you're gonna need to figure out. Here's what you need to learn. Crash course going into it. And so I went out, and 3 weeks later, after my one track day, I went out and ran Sonoma in the wet with a brand new build Pinto. And this is when Lemons was trying to really go for the record numbers of cars on track. My first race, I was in a Pinto with 186 cars on a 3.1 mile track. So I basically learned how to drive with my knee and just have both of my arms out of both windows pointing everybody by as fast as I can. Like, I had robot arms going the opposite direction. It was terrifying, right? And so that was my first experience with Lemons, and Fish was hysterical. At the end of the night, he's, throwing whiskey down, and he's in like a full pink bunny onesie, and,
that's about
walking around looking at all of these things and all these people. And I was like, these are my homies. I've got to do more of this. And that was it. That was 2014 in December. And I've been running with Lemons ever since. It's great. And I bought I had a Subaru STI. It was my wife's car, actually. She prefers her commutes turbocharged. And so I took that to the track a couple times, and I started getting faster. And I was like, you know what? I really feel like I should probably get something with a cage around me, because I want to learn how to be quick, and it's safer to just have that around. So she gave me the thumbs up, and I went and bought a fresh build 1990 Spec Miata. And the guy, they had a company called Off Camber Racing, and they were starting to rent these Miatas out. One of his partners moved away, and they were like selling the fleet. And so I got this car, and it was awesome. It was perfect. And I did nothing but change the brakes, the fluids, and the tires on this car for 4 years, and beat the shit out of it. And it was,
Miatas are the best, aren't they?
Oh, they're so good. They're so good to learn.
As reliable as a rock as a hammer. It might not be the best, but man, it's just always going to work.
They're so good to learn on. Like, you learn how to get quick because you have to, right? Otherwise, everyone just passes you all the time. So you can kind of send it in corners, and car sticks. And I never changed any of the setups in anything. And Pantless Matt, he's a tinkerer with cars, and he's like always changing things. And I was like, I went the opposite direction. Like, I'm going to take this car, and I'm going to drive this car and this setup as fast as I possibly can and figure out how to do it, right? So it's a different mindset than tinkering with everything, because at that time I was a non-wrencher, right? I knew how to do very, very minimal things to cars, but I wanted to learn, so that was part of the process. So got the Spec Miata, ran that, ended up meeting guy Jim Bauman, good friend of mine, who was a Vermont guy.
We know Jim well.
Yep. Yep. So I met Jim on the Lemons Forum, and Jim lived a mile away from me in California, and they were looking for another teammate, and we had a horrible car. It was a Nissan 240SX with a Corvette C4 rear
Yeah.
end on it. We ended
Yeah,
up
Ernie
yeah,
just
we
Ernie
know
just burned you guys so many
Ernie-
times.
Ernie
Yep.
was horrible.
Chris,
Ernie was
you know
horrible.
they had Bert, and then they
Yep.
had Ernie.
And then we had Ernie. And I think Ernie is a great segue into the main topic, which is how to have fun when it's not, right? So I go and I go meet Jim, and we've got this car, and he and I are working on it, and he's showing me. I'm like, I don't know how to wrench. I said, but I have a trailer and I have money, so like we can fix this. So let's get this going. So it was me, Jim, Matt, and another guy, Jason, who actually moved back east again now. And the four of us ended up going quarters on this car, and we take Ernie out, and the car handles great when it runs.
When it
Yeah,
runs. I was glad you added
When
that.
it
That's the
runs.
Nissan problem right there.
Yeah,
In an
yeah.
effing nutshell.
Yeah, the brakes were terrible. We ended up trying to change them out and put Q45 brakes on it, and you would stand on the brakes, and the steering wheel would go.
Shimmy,
It
shimmy,
was
shimmy,
like,
shimmy, shimmy.
Not discerning. at
oh
all.
no, like horrifying. So one day, I did it, and I was like on the radio, I said, "Hey guys, I'm coming in," and they're like, "What's the matter?" I was like, "I'm tired of driving this car. It's terrible."
Oh, that's sad.
Oh, I have
Terrible.
driven some terrible cars. I don't know if I have been the thank God my shift is over,
Yeah.
but I've never been I'm coming in early tired. So that's
Yeah,
saying
I was like-
something.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not fun. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill somebody, and this is bad. Someone
very
else
nice
wants
of
to
you.
go out and drive this. You go right ahead, but no. So Ernie, my first race weekend with those guys was at Thunder Hill, and it was July. It was over my birthday, July 31st. It was over my birthday weekend. My mom came out, who was in Florida. She flew out to hang out with us, and we immediately on Friday ejected the piston and the connecting rod out of both sides of the motor. So there's a really funny story with Corey Dickman, who I run with a lot now too. He had the pink Rambler at the time, and we were pitted right next to each other. It's where Corey and I met. And Corey had to get a motor, so we had to get a motor. We found one in Santa Rosa, which is like here, and Corey found a Pinto motor in the Pinto, which is like here, like about 2 hours between the two. So Jim Bauman and Corey get in the truck
This is a
at,
great
like,
story.
10 o'clock, and they go
I didn't know.
go
I
out.
didn't know you were there with that one.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is my first one. This is my
Oh,
first one.
good.
And so they go out to this place down near San Jose to pick up this car. And it's a Pinto, and address is kind of funky, and Jim and Corey pull in, and Jim and Corey didn't really know each other that well at this point in time. They got to know each other a lot on this
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah,
And-
no way to bond through trauma. That's always good.
Chrissy and I know the long drive on a race weekend bonding
Oh,
experience.
Except you guys
So-
didn't have the craziness at this one.
no,
does.
no,
That's
we
good.
had a great trip.
Yeah.
so they pull up, and there's a Pinto there, and it's a
This must
canary,
be the place.
faded canary yellow Pinto, and it's sitting at kind of this bottom of this dirt hill, and they get there at like 11 o'clock, and this hermaphrodite comes out to sell them the car in like cut off, and I'll probably get this wrong, but it was like a cut off jean shirt and like long hair, and the car itself was amazing. The seat covers were just epic, with like wings of eagles and all sorts of things on the car. The car was it told the story of who the owner was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So they negotiate with this person. They buy the car. They buy the whole Pinto. They put it on Corey's trailer, and now they're driving up north to Santa Rosa to pick up this motor, this KA motor, which is a horrible motor. And we bought it from some drift kid because 240s are pretty big in the drift world. And it was turboed, and he was like, "Oh, this was amazing. It was making 300 with the turbo on it." And we're like, "I'm sure that's going to go great." So we get the motor, we get the Pinto. They have to stop and pick up a cherry picker for the motor at Jim's house because, ironically, nobody in the paddock at Thunder Hill had an engine hoist.
Impossible.
Nobody.
How
Like,
does
what
that
are they?
happen?
150 cars. Nobody had an engine hoist. So they had to stop and get the engine hoist, and now we have one engine hoist. So the Rambler crew, they go in and they do it first. Like 6 o'clock in the morning, they're buttoning it up, and we start working on our car at that point in time. And they got the Rambler back out on track. We got the car put back together, but didn't take the checkers. And that was my first I got screwed trophy with Ernie. Not my last, my first. So
there's
terrible car.
There's nothing like going out and getting that and just working all weekend and just being absolutely filthy and disgusting and going, we're not going to make it.
Yeah. And one of my favorite parts was I was laying under the car, unbolting things to get the engine out. And one of my fellow Lemons racers comes walking by, and he's got one of the little infrared guns. He shoots the tarmac right next to my head, and he goes, "It's 138 right there. You should put some sunscreen on."
Oh, no.
Oh. By the way, you buried the lead. Happy birthday in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yep.
So was that fun?
Ironically, it was fun. I mean, I came back. I kept doing it with the same car and the same group of people, right? We try to learn and try to do things a little bit better. Slow learners with that car. I mean, we kept blowing the motor up because, oil cooler should have been the first thing we threw at it. And it took us 3 motors to figure that out. But we did get there eventually, and sold the car to another Lemons racer, Phil Mingus. Phil's got that 59 Bonneville that I'm sure you guys have seen on the West Coast, that big maroon Bonneville. Thing's sick. But he is now fledging his way through Ernie, and he's talking about V8 swapping it. I don't know if he's going to 350 it or if he's going to LS it, but as Jim and I have said to him, like, I hope you weld a whole lot of metal into that car or it's going to tear itself to pieces, because it's all just pot metal. It's terrible.
Seems like a lot of work for a car that has been through a lot.
Yeah.
Sad car. It's all bent. I mean, I think they caged the car bent. So the car is like,
oh boy.
I have to share one of my favorite Ernie stories was Chris and I were at Sonoma.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was Sonoma. And we found a creepy doll. I don't remember.
Think it was in the trash.
I think it was in the trash. And it was like a really, like, the thing that horror movies are made out of. Like, it was a really creepy,
like one eye, but it was kind of big, one of those kind of things.
Don't know where it came from. And the Ernie crew was struggling, suffering is the word I was trying to combine. I think you went out to dinner, and we're like, no, we'll just stay here. And you went out. And so we thought we were hilarious. We stuffed the creepy doll in the front seat, in the driver's seat of Ernie, poking out of we put a tarp over it, and it's like, you could just see this little face hanging out of the tarp. And we thought we were hilarious. And I think you guys, I don't even know that your reaction was what we were hoping for, because I think you were just so pissed and dead and not having fun anymore. That when you found said creepy doll. But we thought we were hilarious.
Yeah, it's Ernie was it tested your positivity for sure. One time, Matt and I, we took Ernie to Sonoma, where he loved to explode, and we floated a valve, and on test day, and it's cold and windy, and we don't have a head. We don't have another head laying around. So we're like, what are we gonna do? And we're sitting there talking about it. And one of the other teams from across the paddock comes over and he hands us a beer, and he's like, it's always best to think about these things while you're drinking a beer. So we're looking at our sad broken race car, and he goes, why don't you just pull the plug and the ejector and just run it on 3 cylinders? And we're like, no, you can't do that, really?
pull both plugs because it's a 2.4 Nissan, right? I mean,
so Matt and I went back to my house and drank whiskey until like 3 o'clock in the morning and drank.
No way.
Oh,
No,
then it becomes really clear.
Weird.
No way.
That's when the clarity shows up.
So drivers meetings at 9.
Uh-huh.
We show up at 10 minutes to 9. We haven't teched the car yet.
Still
We show up at
probably pretty drunk.
10 minutes to 9. Yeah. And Jason was there. It was just me, Matt, and Jason. Jim wasn't there for some reason. I can't remember why.
Because he got smart and said, I'm
yeah.
not gracing that thing anymore.
Probably. So we show up and we say to Jason, all right, we got to tech the car. We're just going to pull the injector, and we're going to pull the plug and run it on 3 cylinders. And he's like, all right, well, I'm not going first. And Matt and I are both like, what? Like,
Right. That's a great answer.
That's hilarious.
Rock, paper, scissors.
totally.
Wow.
So I lost. I got to go out in the car, and I drove like 40 miles an hour on the track for the first hour. And I was like, someone else get in the car. I'm done.
Oh boy.
Terrible car.
Yes. And finally you got rid of it and moved on, thank God.
Yes.
What was next?
So I started hedging my bets. So met with Corey at that race that I talked about, and Corey always showed up with a well-prepared car.
Yes.
Things ran.
Yeah.
And I was like,
damn those people, right?
hey,
how
like,
dare you have your car ready?
Weird.
have
That
a
can be a thing.
seat available in the car. So I was showing up with, I've got Ernie, which I know is going to blow up, and then I've got this other car that I'm going to drive also, so I can get some seat time when my car blows up. So I started running with Corey, and ran in the Omega, which is a fantastic car, such a good car.
Yeah.
And
Should mention
then
it's an LS swapped. Was it LS swapped the whole time?
it was
Yeah.
When I got into it, yes.
Yeah. LS swapped like 76 Oldsmobile Omega.
76 Oldsmobile Omega LS swap. It's got the 5.3. It had a automatic transmission in it, and
It just goes around
Corvette.
and around and around.
Corvette brakes, and it just would just
And now it
out
sits on
corner so
Mental's
many people.
stolen trailer, and it will stay there for a
It's on
while.
the moon trailer.
Moon
Yeah.
trailer.
Exactly.
I still don't know why Mental would not buy the car as is. He's like, no, I want you to strip all the things off of it, so I have to put all of them back on. I'm like, what? Just buy it.
I didn't know he
done.
did that.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think he told us.
Yeah. He was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Like, take that off. So a lot of the like suspension bits and things from the Omega, like cheaty Hotchkiss suspension stuff that ended up getting onto that car, is all on the El Camino now.
See, I thought he just took it because he wanted it for the El Camino. I thought Corey took it. I didn't know Mental was like, no, not the stuff that makes it go around the corners well.
No.
and makes it reliable and good.
And
fun.
actually
No.
makes it so that it's going to actually go somewhere.
No.
Yeah.
No.
And be used for something.
Oh well.
Hmm.
All right. So with all this crap, we've got. No, keep
So
going.
good.
No,
So-
keep
so-
going with the Omega.
So then after the Omega, we sold the Ernie, and then Matt found this solstice, the first of 5 solstice. And on the East Coast, which you guys then grabbed, put a cage in it, and sadly only got to drive it once, I think.
Yep.
Before I scooped it up and dragged it across the country,
Yep.
dripping flesh-colored paint all the way through Ohio.
That's
Totally.
true.
Yep.
I think you knew that that was going to happen. So there's that.
He
but-
said, don't do anything permanent to decorate it. Okay, water-based flesh-colored paint it is.
Yeah. So I picked it up from Chris in Pennsylvania and put it on a U-Haul trailer to bring it to Matt's house in Salt Lake City. And I'm driving, of course, within an hour of picking the car up, it starts just dumping rain down, dumping rain. And all the cars behind me are now flesh colored.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and I get to our stop, our hotel in Ohio, and I pull the car and the trailer kind of way in the back parking lot so I could park it there. And rains all night long, just dumps. And I come out in the morning and the parking lot is just pink.
It's just
I'm like, Amy, get in the car. We got to go.
Yeah, run away. Run away.
For those that don't know, the reason the solstice was pink is we did an ambiguously gay duo theme, and that was
we didn't
the
even
the
talk
duo
about
car.
that last week.
That's true. That was
I thought that Ace and Gary, I don't remember which one I was, Ace or Gary. I bought that costume convinced I'm going to wear this for like half a season. You know, like
Oh.
this theme is great.
Yep. And then COVID and then all
COVID.
kinds of stuff. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
the car needed to go west anyway. We thought, because, well, we got the Z. The Z's totally good. We don't need this solstice
Z's gonna
anymore.
dominate.
It's totally going to work. It's not going to
Yeah.
be a problem.
Yep.
Sad trombone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Well, I mean, we were kind of like not really racing our car because it was Matt's car. So
Yeah,
we
well,
had
Matt
to
had bought
get
it.
back to
We
him.
caged it. We're like, it'll get back to Matt eventually. I mean, that thing's a
Yeah.
town bicycle. It's fine. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's still the town bicycle. I bought it
Oh,
from
yeah.
Matt, and he purchased a parts car, purchased a second parts car, and I bought that.
He had
in
a street
the lot.
solstice at the time, didn't he?
Still does.
Still does.
Still does.
Okay.
GXP, and the GXP is going to become Gizmo. So there is a hat car project in Matt's garage right now. I don't know if I'm ruining anything for him, but basically it is a green AMC Gremlin that he found, and he is going to take the Gremlin body and make a hat car onto the GXP. So
That's
he's
amazing.
working through the process of that right now. He's got to give all the things to Pagel because hat cars are not easy. And but because it's a gremlin, a souped up gremlin, it's Gizmo. So that's the nickname for the car.
Absolutely.
Don't feed it after midnight.
Right.
Don't feed it whiskey until 3 a.m. and think you're going to start the race at 9 a.m.
That's the right answer.
Terrible idea. Terrible idea.
But do you have so much fun when, I mean, that's when then we have stories that we make and we laugh about for a long time.
Yeah.
So
That's how you have fun when you're not having fun.
there we go.
Yeah. It's hard sometimes to keep the positive vibes flowing when you're just you're elbow deep in the motor and you might not get it running, and you've done everything to prep, and you're looking ahead at the weekend where you might not get a single lap. You know, like I've seen Sorry for Party, the original, the East Coast Sorry for Party racing, just like absolutely decimate their motor really early. And they had a great way to stay in good mood. So I'm going to bring it up and you tell me whether this is still part of your plan.
Okay.
All right. They blow the motor. They get a new motor. This is in the Pontiac, the Firebird, Failbird. And they're yelling at each other like, "Oh, did you give me the thing? Yeah, come on, let's move." And Dean, who was the patriarch of the team at the time, said, "All right, everybody, put on your Speedos, pump up the music. We're not having enough fun." Man, an hour later, they're like, yeah, they're dancing, changing a motor, yanking things out. Point.
I think they said you can't really yell at your friend in a Speedo.
No.
Yeah.
When you're all wearing Speedos dancing to crappy dance music, it's impossible to not have a good time.
Yeah, Chrissy will appreciate this. So they call it their safety gear now. So whenever they do an engine swap, they have to put their safety gear on.
Good. Because that is definitely the definition of safety gear,
Put on goggles
right?
and a banana
Totally.
hammock.
I'm pretty sure they do, but yes.
Yeah,
It's
yep, for sure.
And
For
that
sure.
that attitude and atmosphere, I think, goes so far. Even if you're doing something crappy, get the music on, have the costume on, just be ridiculous there. And the other thing I think helps for that is have someone responsible to make sure you've got good food and drink while you're doing it, if you can.
Yes.
Great topic.
Because otherwise, you go too far, you get hungry, you get nasty, you can't keep going. Like, you got to keep that atmosphere going.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And it's
you
it's
wrote a whole
getting-
list here, so I want you to just shout out something. Tell us about how you stay happy.
so for me, like I think that I'm a glass half full guy, right? So it's super important to I feel like racing is almost secondary, right? Like, I enjoy going to the races and hanging out with my friends. And if the car blows up, well, that's less time on the track, but it's more time I get to hang out with those guys. So that's the really cool spot about it. And it's going to make fun of each other and poke fun and all the things and push buttons. And one of the guys that we run with, this guy, Jimmy Varellis, he's with the Modderfuckers, and they run a cheaty BMW. And Jimmy does all of the wrenching on the car. And he's got his two buddies that he's known for a long time. And Victor and Rick James, literally it's his name, Rick James. And they just crash the car constantly, and Jimmy's always fixing it. And this one race, Jimmy got a new hood because Rick crashed into somebody and bent the hood. And Rick went out first. Zoe, come here. Rick went out first.
Check off
and
your
bent-
bingo list. Your bingo card, shaky dogs.
Oh yeah,
Shaking
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Come here.
Definitely.
Zoe's so
All
fun
right.
at the track, especially when she wears
Zoe
her
dresses
zebra
up as a zebra.
Yes.
She identifies as a zebra.
Nothing
So-
wrong with that.
So Rick bends up the hood that Jimmy just got from the junkyard, put it on, painted it, did all the things. And I walked by, and he's all bent out of shape. I'm like, hey, Jimmy, I thought you put a new hood on this thing, man. And he's like, stop it.
Oh, poke the bear when they're down, right?
Oh.
Oh, good,
But-
good.
But then, you do that stuff, and you poke fun at each other, and then you hug it out, and it's great. It's really, it's that sort of thing. And going around, like doing a paddock walk and talking to other teams, and just, if you're in a garage, getting to know everybody in the garage. And if you have food, or if you have, breakfast or whatever, like, hand it out. And those are the things that are, I think, really important. And like Button Willow, for example, Button Willow is always terribly hot and dusty and dry. So I went to Costco and I bought like $40 of ice cream, like drumsticks and ice cream sandwiches and like all the things, right? And I went around Saturday and handed ice creams out to anybody that wanted, right? So it's just doing stuff like that and talking to people, and how's your race going? How's your pile of crap running, and what sort of things? That's, everyone wants to talk about their stuff, right? Here's what I did. Oh yeah, screwed a block of wood onto the carburetor because I didn't have a proper gasket. Like, everyone wants to talk about the dumb things that they did, and it's hysterical to hear. So that is my suggestion on, if your car's blown up, go walk around, talk to people. Don't sit there and mope about it. Like, find the fun. There's tons of fun going on at the track.
And you can make the fun and bring an ice cream, or bring, like
Hot
water
tub.
balloons to a hot race. I think
Hot
we're gonna
tub,
need
yeah.
that this next race. Hot tubs.
Oh
Hot tub.
yeah.
Right?
Hot tubs.
Or I love like when you're making pancakes, Tim. You have that little squeeze bottle to make your own like special pancakes. Like this makes it fun, right?
Yeah, just dumb thing. Whatever's the dumber the better.
Yeah,
the dumber the better.
I think you don't need to be highbrow to have a good time at a Lemon's Paddock. You can like, and we've talked about this before. You can absolutely let your freak flag fly and wear your underwear outside the pants or whatever it is that you feel like doing. Dress up like a zebra, Zoe. Whatever it takes.
Totally agree. Yeah, and it's been for me personally, the golf pro thing, for a long time it was like always like buttoned up, clean cut. You gotta like be careful where you go and what you do and what you say. And like as you can see now, like that game has changed. Like I got a big old goatee. I go out and I have fun. I do dumb things. Mental came up to me at came up to Matt and I, like good choice. And we were at the potluck and he goes, "Hey, I need somebody to do something stupid. Who wants to do it?" And I was like, "I'm in. Like, what do you want to do?" So one of the teams, the Tatas, they had a cake that was made like two boobies, right? And so they had this booby cake, and he goes, "I want Kim Harmon to hold the cake up," and he goes, "I want one of you guys to motorboat the cake." And I was like, "I'm in." Right? So
excellent.
Like he videos it, and I get in there and give it to Brumsky, and I come up out of the cake, and there was like a Twizzler as the nipple, and I was like, I think I have a nipple on my face. And Mental's got the whole thing. You have to have him show it to you. But it's like, yeah, I'll do those things now because I can, because I don't have to worry about what things get out on the world. So it's so much more fun to just be yourself.
Yeah, and this is just all the good attitude and setting the right expectations for yourself. Like if you go into it, I have to win, I must dominate. Like, come on, be realistic. That's not going to happen. It's really, really hard to do that. So,
yeah.
Well, and we have tried, but it gets old. So that's the problem, is that like when you keep trying so hard, there's so much stress. There's so little fun because you're like, everybody bed early. No, there's no 40% cold conversations. There's everybody's in bed because that's the right answer. So
it can be fun too. But then when it doesn't work out that race, oh, well,
yeah,
pivot your expectations to casual racing with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And but if you set that up ahead of time that you can pivot and you can take it and you're okay with it, then you're gonna have a good time, as opposed to our car broke, my life is terrible. Then you're gonna have a bad time if that's your attitude going into it.
I'll say the Chodis guys, like, how can they still have fun with what happens with their car? Like, they are the epitome of having a good time when things are down. Like, that car is broken more than it isn't. And they're always awesome. They're always in great spirits. They're always underneath the car, but they'll chat with you about it. Like after the races, track was on cold, you go over and talk to them. Oh yeah, this bolt broke again, and this part that we fabricated, unobtainium is broken, and we've got to try to weld 4 things together and glue it with like hot glue. Like they've got it down, like, to the extreme. So I love those guys. They're awesome.
Yeah. Another thing I think helps in this is if you've got a crappy job to do, rotate people through it so they get a break. Because if you are just nonstop on that crappy job, it makes it worse. Or just rotate spots, position, just something so that you're not just doing the same crappy job the whole time. Because that drags you down.
That's really important. I think, like we always make fun of the dishwashing fairy on our team who really doesn't mind washing the dishes. The rest of us don't. But man, once he starts doing that, I try and get in there and I wash him every now and then when I can get there, because the man's like a ninja. But like if someone is just absolutely like done the filthy jobs for the last 24 hours, you got to step up and crawl under that car. Like, you can't let your friend do the worst thing for the entire weekend. That's just it's not fair. And like, hey, share the love, man. Everybody's got to get gross.
And then you can commiserate in the sadness.
And just help each other out. Like,
Yeah.
if you're in a garage and you've got a broom, like, sweep up the 2 spots next to you, right? I'm sure there's kitty litter and like broken dreams all over their floor too. So, help them out, sweep it up, and that's how you meet people, and you make new friends and relationships. It's easy to do. Just put the effort forward.
Cool. Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any thoughts or tips on how to keep the home fires rolling? I'm going to say, and I know we talked about it a little bit before, but playing the music, like when you building the community through music is so important. At 5:45, if we're all wrenching and we play that damn Quiblo song, everybody stops and sings along. Like, how many times have I gotten out from under the car, totally just gritty, kitty, filthy, and disgusting for whatever oil line blew, or just bathed in power steering fluid from the 300Z, and done the Cupid shuffle with Chrissy and gotten right back under the car. Like,
It happens.
Tunes make a good time.
Yeah, but that's, be ready to do that. Be ready to have the right attitude when the song comes on, or be ready when, someone reminds you it's 138 degrees next to your head on the ground.
Yeah, really.
Now, if he handed you that suntan lotion, that would have been even better. I mean, it's
That would
nice.
have been helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spray me down a little bit. Like,
Do
help a
something.
brother out. It's my
You're like,
birthday.
no, wait, now I have to go. I am dirty. I have to go into my bag in the tent or wherever and go find it.
Totally.
Yeah, like you're slapping on your face. But at least he got you in the right direction, thinking about something different, I suppose.
Safety.
Yep, right? I like it.
Excellent.
Good.
Well, we're looking forward to having you, Thompson, Tim. We'll make
I
sure
look
we have a
forward to
good
being
time.
there.
Heck
Always
yes.
fun hanging out with you guys, for sure. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Speaking of Thompson, we're having a potluck. You just heard this just in. Thompson potluck. Yep, I just arranged it today because nobody else had, and we like potluck, so let's do it.
Yeah, Tim, you haven't been to Thompson, but Thompson is one of the most fun races because of the schedule.
Oh,
It's like
All
the old
right.
Summit Point schedule,
That's exactly
which
what it
made
is.
Summit Point so great.
Just what?
Which is, Jeff?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, so there's some sort of church hour thing that goes on. So there's no race motors until noon.
On Sunday.
Sunday.
on Sunday?
So on Saturday,
You
The
can stay up till
Thompson-
6.
well, yeah, the Thompson racetrack
Yes.
really loves to treat us right. I mean, they've had bonfires, like scheduled bonfires. Like, hey, racers, Thompson is throwing a bonfire. And are you ready to be excited? I know you're in Maine. They have an ice cream store.
Oh my God, the ice cream store.
It's
At the
amazing.
track.
At the track.
Oh,
It's you got to kind of go like out the parking lot and over some grass.
Well, the-
And
The track is also at a golf course too.
Yeah.
So
yes, I'll bring a club.
a club. Okay.
Glow balls. We'll do a
Well,
night golf.
Well, that was definitely a penalty one year, as they drove a team's car onto the driving range and had to wait till they hit it with a ball before they could go back out.
It took them a long time.
That's a great penalty.
Yeah. Yeah. So pretty epic party at Thompson. So we're excited to have you and bring some food to share. I'll be posting the spreadsheet and advertisement everywhere sometime soon.
I'm calling potato salad. I'm going to bring potato salad.
Excellent.
See,
Big
he's a
tub.
listener.
Yeah.
So
But
much.
there's of note, there's no one who is bringing a massive amount of meat yet. Like the last
Yes,
couple
we-
potlucks, we've had one person saying, "Oh, I'm going to roast a whole pig," or "I'm going to do a whole side of beef," whatever it is. We don't have one of those this time. So if you
Well,
let
not
your
yet.
barbecue,
I mean,
yeah,
they might be
let's-
out there, but I don't know that they're out there.
well, let
We-
your barbecue freak shine. If you want to do it, come on, bring
There you
something
go.
out.
Nice. I like that.
I may have to do that. I have I have a pickup truck and I have a Blackstone. So if I can figure out a way to get that thing in the back of that truck, because it's heavy as hell, I might Blackstone my way through the potluck.
Nice.
Nice. Love
Okay.
Cool.
that. We love a good.
Well,
flat
we
top.
also want a lot of people to bring stuff, so there's
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
This
Chrissy-
is not on you.
For all the people who are going to Thompson, how do they get involved? Where do they find the lists?
The spreadsheet, there'll be a Google sheet, just like we've had for the last couple potlucks, is going to be on Facebook very shortly, and the forum, or reach out, email us, do whatever, however you want to join. But the Google spreadsheet will at least be filled up with things you can figure out what's missing. And if you don't know, just come with a salad, come with a side, something that's unique, not potato salad.
Or there's
That's
plenty of room for meat.
Yeah.
yes.
There's never too much.
Just
meat.
like our lives in general.
Get the meat sweats after you leave.
There's
if you
always
go.
room for a little meat.
But if it's a safe bet if you bring something unique, is what I'm going with.
A festival of sausage is always great. I mean, who doesn't love that?
Wow.
I love a good sausage fest. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Anyway,
That's what I got.
So quick funny story at Sonoma or at Thunderhill this last race. I had we do butcher box, which is local meats and stuff, and we got on the free drumsticks for life thing as part of the plan. So they send you like 2 packages
What?
of drumsticks every time you get a delivery of steaks and all the other things. So I don't really love drumsticks. So they've been like building up in my freezer. So I took all of these drumsticks, and then there's this
we're
guy
talking
that I
about
know.
chicken legs, not the ice cream.
Yes,
this time.
yes, chicken legs.
This is the second
Different
time you've
drumsticks.
referenced drumsticks.
Fair,
this
you're right.
podcast.
I like the ice cream drumsticks, not so
Not
much
the chicken. Okay.
drumsticks.
Good. Noted.
So this guy Mikey, who's a special forces vet that I know, he started a company called Smoke Bros, and they do all sorts of like rubs for ribs and all the things, and he has one for chicken that's called Agent Orange. So I bought a bunch of this Agent Orange rub, and I did the chicken legs, and I did them in the smoker and brought them to the potluck and put them in this big bowl and put it down. I had this little whiteboard, and I wrote on there, "Sorry for party, ran one parked, spicy, like real big chicken legs, like enjoy." Put it on the table. I was there early, get my plate, hanging around. Next thing I know, I hear like 3 or 4 people go, "Holy crap, these wings are like burning my face off." Someone put something on top of the sign. So nobody knew they were spicy.
Oh,
So-
that's sad.
Yeah, they got Agent Oranged.
Nice. I love that. Well, we got a guy on our team named Aaron, and he loves chicken wings and all kinds of chicken products. So that's a joke. He hates it.
He doesn't.
He hates it.
He's very
I
vocal
was
about it too.
cooking- I was smoking amazing like chicken thighs, and everyone was like, "Jeff, do the chicken thighs again." And then we were frying turkeys. And like after like 2 years of this, he goes, I like see that he's like not eating any of the turkey. I'm like, "Yo, man, there's extra turkey if you need some." He's like, "No, man, I don't eat birds." And he was like dead serious for like 2 years. He hadn't mentioned that he doesn't eat like the chicken or the turkey that we made for like 10 races. So, oh well, he loves the wart burgers. That's why we call him the wart burger thief.
It's true.
Anyway, are we ready to wrap this sucker up? Tim, you were a great guest. I can't wait to chew some asphalt and touch your drumstick. I'm not sure what.
I look forward to it, Jeff.
What?
Oh boy, we're really gonna test Tim now. Do you know if I say just one goat what I'm talking about?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna do around the horn, goat or just one goat today, and it has a little bit to do with Formula One. So you got to know a little bit. This is the Lewis Hamilton version. All right, Chrissy, quiz time. What race is coming up this weekend?
Pierre Lagarde. I don't know if that's exactly what it is. France.
It's the France race. Yes.
Pierre?
What?
Pierre. Isn't that what it is? What is it, Chris?
Yeah. The
It's a
racetrack
French Grand Prix.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Circuit de Paul Ricard or something.
Ricard.
Paul
Yeah,
Ricard.
yeah.
That's who it is.
Paul Ricard.
Whatever.
Yeah. Interesting fun fact. Paul Ricard. the racetrack, Paul Ricard racetrack, was owned by Bernie Ecclestone, and he lost it in his divorce. So now his ex-wife owns it. But that's besides the point. What is the point is GOAT or just one GOAT around the horn. Everybody knows that Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT, so we're just going to go with the GOAT. This is the 12th race of the season. This will be the longest losing streak that Lewis Hamilton has had since he came to Formula One. It is also his 300th start. There are only a handful of drivers who have ever had 300 starts, and none of them have ever won a race after their 300th start. And we're talking about some of the biggest names in racing.
Really? That's
Like,
interesting.
You know, that guy whose son races right now, and Kimi Räikkönen, and all of these other people who have had long story careers have never won a race after their 300th. So, around the horn, GOAT, not GOAT, will he win a race after 300? Lewis Hamilton, that is. And how long is it going to take for Lewis Hamilton to break this record?
This is a good tidbit. That's
tidbit,
interesting.
yes. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm going to say yes. And I think it's going to be either an incredible series of events that happens this year, like Verstappen and Leclerc finally get into it and crash out, and there you go, and then all of a sudden, hey, he's like, hey, I'm right here. Or it's going to be next year, I think.
Wow.
I mean,
Mercedes is the just one GOAT right now.
they absolutely are.
Yeah.
They're begging and pleading. Although they're what, third in the championship points?
Well, and they've been making a good comeback.
And
like
and
they
George
really have
has
made
more points.
It's
I
true.
believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot, actually. We're just looking at point standings this year compared to last year.
If you're Toto Wolff and you have one guy winning, if you have a chance to get one guy or the other guy to win, who do you make win right now?
Well, if you had to put your race on the line to one guy or the other, how do you not pick?
Like,
yeah, there it is. Yeah. All right, so Chris says maybe even next year. Chrissy, what do you think? When's he going to break that record?
Oh, I think it's closer than that. I think he's been doing really well. He's gotten 2 podiums in a row.
2 podiums in a row, absolutely.
So, I mean, like, this is the closest he's been all year.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be closer than that. Interesting stat. But I still think he's got it. I still think he's got the fire for it. So
he's still amazing. I think
right.
Mercedes is the problem.
Well, sure. And it has been, hence his problems with the car. I don't know. I think it's gonna be soon. I think it's next couple of races. I mean, winning. I like Chris's idea of crashing and then taking over. I think that there's probably something going, but all of them have been having some kind of engine trouble. I mean, there's been fires or something on a Ferrari every race. So the reliability is not really there for a whole lot of the top teams. So that's not really an answer. I'm sorry. I think it's going to be soon. I think it's going to be this year for a win.
I think, and you guys know that I love Lewis, but he's not my favorite driver on the track just because he's so good and so dominant that I was tired of seeing him win. I want to see him win now. I think he is poised, but I don't think the car is good enough. It would take a devastating mechanical or crash out of both Ferraris for him to win, and at least Max. So anything is possible. I want to see it soon. I think it'll happen this season. I know George is running strong, but Lewis is just, they're figuring out the porpoising. I say he gets it next 3-4 races. I think it's going to be, but it's not going to be like an earned win. He's not going to dominate. It's going to be somebody crashed or something happened or a bad yellow flag at the wrong time, and it suits him 3 to 5 races. That's my thought. Tim, did you do a prediction? I know you talked about Mercedes.
I think that his best chance of winning right now unless all of those other things happen, the reliability that we've seen with Red Bull and with Ferrari, his best chances, excluding those things, is if there's a weather event. I mean, that he is so
Yeah.
good
Mm-hmm.
in the rain.
Yep.
And that is such a level the playing field situation where if they get some rain and the track's wet, I think he can drive his way up to the front and get a win. If not, I don't see it this year.
All right, and just because I didn't have it at my fingertips, and I do now, Lewis Hamilton 299 starts. Jason Button 306.
Jensen
Button, sorry. Michael Schumacher.
Jason.
Sorry, I'm like flipping as I go. Rubens Barrichello. Fernando Alonso. Felipe Massa. Kimi Räikkönen. All the 300 start drivers.
I have one last thought on this. Not thought. I read an article as we were looking for news and notes today on the drive that Toto is quoted as saying that this season is boring because F1 and Red Bull, or excuse me, Ferrari and Red Bull are boring or something. Like he just, because you have to come up with, Toto's got to say something like, what do you think about these other two race teams? He's just like, oh, it's boring. This year is boring. I'm like, what? Like, it's not, but like
it's been great.
Yeah.
The last race was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
It was, the whole race was so crazy that you just like, you couldn't stop. It was great.
Yeah.
I love watching just the differences right now between the Ferrari and the Red Bulls and how they run and how it's like, it's like watching the Mustang and the Miata on the track. You know, you can never know which one's going to go around faster, but I know they're going to trade paint and go back and forth the entire time. I love it.
So good.
Yeah.
I only hope that France will be that exciting.
Well, it's a little hot there, I hear. So, you know, that.
Oh, it's really, you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, they're worried about buckling of the.
a little hot everywhere right now.
Yeah, but it's extra hot in Europe. So
We'll see
more
how
than-
our Civic and Mazda handle in 98-degree heat on the racetrack.
How about us?
Yeah,
Did we talk about that?
we're gonna run cool shirts in HPDE because we can.
Well, this is great. You guys are off to Grid Life. I'm off to Scout Camp. Tim, you're going to be off the show next week. Is there anything you want to push? You got any social media or any raising any funds for your vet thing there?
Yeah. So if you want to donate, go to the Northern California NCPGA Foundation and make a donation to PGA Hope. Or you can go onto the Lemons site and watch the latest Lemons episode with El Camino.
Great. And thanks for joining us. This is fantastic. And I want to thank everybody for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition. Oh, wait. Do we know what we're doing next week? I forgot to say that.
Yeah, we're talking about Grid Life.
All right. Grid Life. Awesome. I won't be here. Have fun. Or maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Thanks for downloading us. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We also hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to YouTube or iTunes and give us a good rating, thumbs up, smash the like button, whatever it is that you can do on however it is that you're watching us or listening to us. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com. Text Mental. Say, hey, when are you coming back to the show? And here's a picture of my junk. 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at everyone.racers, YouTube and Facebook, Reddit. We are everywhere. Thanks again, and until next week, keep the shiny side up. Unless you're driving a 240 named Ernie, and then the shiny side is just because it's covered in oil, and then just keep those wheels down.